In your ASP.NET Core applications, you want to create a consistent layout across all of your views. You don't want to have to recreate a lot of the functionality associated with your header, footer, and static items that are going to appear all across your pages. So in ASP.NET Core MVC, we can create a layout view to allow consistency across all of our pages without having to recreate the markup on every independent page itself. So let's go into our view folder and let's click Add, New Folder. And inside of that folder, we want to create the folder name Shared. And then we're going to go to the Shared folder and we're going to click Add, New Item. And we're going to go to .NET Core and we're going to click MVC View Layout Page. And right now when we click that, it gives it a default _layout.cshtml. Let's click Add. And right now we have a default layout for our application. The great thing about this is that we do not have to create separate HTML markup pages with the doc type. Every subsequent pages that inherit from the layout page will be rendered in the specific sections on that page itself. So in our home page, we don't have to render HTML tags to associate in every view that we have. In this case, we just have it in one page and then we inherit from this layout.cshtml page. You see I have a title tag, a view bag title. So it gives a default title to associate with our layout, and in each page we can add the title to that specific page. And inside of the body, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come into the body tag right here, and I have my render body, which is going to associate with my layout view. And then I'm going to come in here at the top, and I'm just going to create a little div. And inside of that div, I'm going to put at datetime dot today dot year. I'm going to show you in this div tag, you're going to see this inherited in all of the pages associated with this layout. So right now I put the datetime.today.year associated in my page. What I can also do inside of this is I can render a specific section and make it required or not inside of my other pages. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to create a header tag. And inside of my header tag, I'm going to put a tag right here, render section. And inside of render section, I can give a default naming for that section itself. So in this case, I'm going to put header, and then I'm going to put whether it's required or not. And I'm going to say false. So I'm saying that this does not have to be implemented in every page, but it can be rendered differently. So typically in this layout page, you will not have so many of these sections unless you want to change specific items. But you'll typically come in here and then you'll just put your footer. And you'll have a static footer going across all of your pages right here. And I'm just going to put a little paragraph tag that says my footer. And that's going to be inherited. Inside of the render body, that's going to be associated with our CSHTML pages that utilize this layout.cshtml page. So right now that I have that set up, I'm going to go to my index.cshtml page. And inside of my top tag right here, I want to associate the layout. So right here, this is where I'm going to put where this layout is going to. So we're going to put the relative path right here. And I'm going to say views, shared. And I'm going to put that underscore to associate with the name, layout.cshtml. It's going to associate the layout in the shared folder that we created right here. So now all of the functionality associated in the layout page, the date, time, .today.year, the optional render section, the render body, which is going to associate with the index.cshtml, this footer is going to appear once we render that page. So now I have that set up and I'm associating my view bag right here. What I can do is I can associate inside of this page that render section. So I can say at section. And inside of that, I can associate the naming convention that we put here, which is header. So we're going to put header. And inside of this, I can associate any markup that I want there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside of that header section. And that's going to associate there with my view bag. And then inside of here, I'm going to say my value, just to see this custom markup. And instead of making it a paragraph, I'm going to make it an H3. So now that we have that set up, all of this is going to be associated inside of my index.cshtml view. And then you can see right here, I have a viewbag.title that I can associate any title name that I want. So in this case, I can come to the top here and I'm going to associate viewbag.title, and I can give any dynamic name I want to each one of my views that are being rendered. So I'm going to say equals, and this is going to equal my home page. Close it out, save that. I'm going to rebuild this project. So once we have that, let's go ahead and take a look at this view. So we're going to go to our index.cshtml page, and we're going to see what's rendered in our browser. Now look at this. So what do we have here? We have the layout right here that's associating the datetime.today.year, which is 2016. Inside of this header tag, inside of our layout.cshtml page, we have an optional render section associated right here in our header tag. And inside of that, in our index.cshtml page, we're associating the viewbag.myObjectGUID that we're associating inside of our project in the last lecture series associated with the different scope objects. So we're associating that right there. Notice as that will change each time. Then I have right here the h3 tag that's associating in my index.cshtml page my value. And then what do we have in our layout at the end right here is the my footer tag. And that's associated right here in the footer. So layout pages allow the consistency of different elements that you want to pass to your views. So you don't have to recreate this logic associated with your header and footer in every specific page. You can just modify it in this layout page, and it will carry down to each of your inheriting pages that are utilizing the layout view. You can also change what layout is associated with what specific page. In the next lecture, I'm going to show you how to default inside of your project one main layout page that inherits, instead of having to hard code the specific page you want for each individual view. In the next lecture, we're going to examine the view start file inside of our project so that we can associate one main layout for all of our views.